Hello, and welcome to another edition of The Ultimate List. I'm your host, Gary Smith, and we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty by introducing our panel of experts. From Brooklyn, New York, the original host of The Ultimate List, the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Woodchuck Kuntz. Woodchuck, welcome back to The Ultimate List.
Hey there, good to be back.
And from his abode in California, PA, joined by the ultimate dog, Sally, somewhere in the background, the producer emeritus, CTV, Mr. J.R. Wheeler. J.R., welcome back to The Ultimate List.
It's great to see you, Gary, and Woodchuck once again for a wonderful jam-packed show, which we don't know the topic yet, though, because no one said it.
And J.R. is getting his royalties for saying it's wonderful to see me and Woodchuck together, because no one really says that. But today's show, it's a good one. It is the top 10 one-hit wonders of all time. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of arguments in this one. So real quick before we go into it, JR, what is your criteria for a one-hit wonder?
Well, it's pretty open. It's just that basically that this group or groups, to quote Tom Hanks for one of my favorite movies, That Thing You Do, one-hit wonder. It's a common story, a real common story. There's a lot of them out there. Basically, the group or solo act had one big hit that they're known for.
And Chuck, you were in a band that had a one-hit wonder, Dr. Egg, back in the day with Everybody Shoots a Bird. What is your expert opinion on the one-hit wonder?
Dr. Egg getting a shout-out. That's good. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I think this one is going to be a little controversial just because it's so open to interpretation on what a one-hit wonder is. But the way I did it was the song had to define this group, that they didn't really have any other thing to hang their hat on. That they had this one song, and looking into it, researching it, I saw after these bands had a lot of these hits, they broke up shortly thereafter. There just wasn't anything else to these guys. And I also said I was only going to do it in the United States. I am not qualified to speak to global the music industry globally, so I was only doing it if the hit was only in the United States. And then the last thing I left out was I left out all the dance songs. There was too many of them, like the Cupid Shuffle, the Dougie, the Macarena, the Hokey Pokey. I left all that stuff, left it out, and just did your standard songs.
So that eliminates my entire list because it was half of the one-hit wonders in Sri Lanka, and the other half were dance songs. So I'll let you guys fight it out. But no, basically my criteria is about the same as you guys, but I just add the thing that it's a song that I think you instantly recognize, because a lot of these, one-hit wonders, all of them, I think, this is the only thing these groups can like hang their hat on. They're in their old age home or whatever they're doing, saying, "I sang in that group." So, but I think it has to be instantly recognizable. So, without further ado, let us start. Remember, this show we have 3 segments. The first segment is the three of us will give you our 10 lists or our 10 songs on our list. Then the second segment, we take those 30 songs. We take it into 10, and then the last segment, we rank those 10 to 1. So we'll start with the music expert, Mr. J.R. Wheeler. J.R., would you like to give us your top 10 one-hit wonders?
Well, as I said, because generationally speaking, I'm older than you, in which both my list is probably going to be way different than yours. But starting at number 10, one that everybody should recognize and know, because it got born into your head so much it created this big music worm, and that's "I'll Be There For You" by the Rembrandts, otherwise known as the theme from Friends. Number 9, to break Woodchuck's win to one rule, and it's the only one I have on here, Woodchuck, but it was so popular at the time you couldn't avoid it, is the Macarena by Los Del Rio. Number 8, my one rap song that's made the list, one of the original ones, Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah,
Number 7, see, I'm popping all over the place, different genres and everything in different eras. Number 7, My Sharona by the Knack. Number 6, an old classic that it was their only hit, Whitebot by the Safaris.
That's a good one.
Now we get into the top 5. This one had to make it because they're from my hometown. Play That Funky Music, White Boy by Wild Cherry. Number 4, one that was so popular you still hear it today is a one-hit wonder, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Number 3, so popular of a one-hit wonder, it was done as a copy tune and became a hit again. But I'm going with the original, Hold On Eileen by Dexys Midnight Runners. Number 2, a personal favorite of mine from the old days, Hocus Pocus by Focus.
What? What was that one?
Hocus Pocus by Focus. I guarantee if I played a little bit of it, you'd know it right off the bat. You'd say, oh, is that who did that song? And my number one all-time, because it covers everything that a one-hit wonder is supposed to be about, popular, so popular again because it was used in a relatively recent movie soundtrack, it became a hit again all over again, is Brandy by Looking Glass. That's my top 10. I had lots of honorable mentions like Black Betty by Ramjet, Kung Fu Fighting, Carl Douglas, Sugar Sugar by the Archies, Safety Dance with Men Without Hats by Men Without Hats. So there's so many of them out there. Woodchuck is right. You can go on forever.
So that is 10 different ones than I have. But before we go to Woodchuck, JR, can we get you to hum the bass line to Hocus Pocus by Focus?
If you give me a second, if I played it on my computer, would it come out over your thing?
Probably not. No, I don't think that's how that works right now. I think we're a DIY group. I want to hear the hum. I want to hear the bass. While Jared's figuring out how to explain what Hocus Pocus by Focus is, let's go to the drummer for Dr. Egg, the creator of a one-hit wonder, Everybody Shoots a Bird, 1998. It's on iTunes, probably, maybe.
No, it's not on iTunes.
Not on iTunes. Spotify?
That's the dark web you got to go to find any downloadable Dr. Egg.
It might actually be on your MySpace page still. But, Chucky, what is your ultimate list of one-hit wonders?
All right. I started at number 10 with The Verve. They had the hit Bittersweet Symphony in 1997. It only reached number 12 on the charts. But that's definitely another thing for the one-hit wonders was sometimes you don't even know their name. The song's bigger than they are was something else. And that's definitely one of those. I think everyone recognizes Bittersweet Symphony when it starts, but not many people even know the band The Verve. And that band had multiple lineups, and it broke up 3 different times. They had nothing going on except that song. Number 9, I had the Proclaimers out of Scotland. They had the big hit, I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles, reached number 3, 1993. These were one of the guys that they had one hit in the United States, but looking into them, they're hugely popular in Scotland. They've been together for 30 years, never broke up. You know, they're twin brothers, and they're still going strong. So definitely not a sad story for the Proclaimers. But in the United States, everyone only knows them for I'm Gonna Be. Number 8, going into the 80s, I got Tommy Two-Tone. Coming out of California in 1981, they had the 867-5309. Hit number 4, and they didn't last very long after the buzz of that hit wore down. Number 7, I had one of JR's on here. I had Looking Glass, coming out of New Jersey. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, 1972. They also broke up shortly after their song was number 1. Number 6, I got Soft Cell, coming out of England with 1981. It wasn't even their song. It was originally performed in 1964 by Gloria Jones. It reached number 8, and at the time, it was on the chart for 43 weeks in the United States, which set a record at the time. But they did not last that much longer either. Number 5, me and JR got another guy, Norman Greenbaum, with Spirit in the Sky, 1969, reached number 3, but didn't do much after that. That guy was raised in an Orthodox Jewish household in Massachusetts. That was a neat little tidbit for Spirit in the Sky. Number 4, coming out of Scotland, I got Big Country, and their one hit was In a Big Country. I think that defines one-hit wonder. And then that one reached number 3 in 1983, and they went through a bunch of lineups too, but could never get that magic back. Number 3, I got Dexys Midnight Runners with Come On Eileen.
See?
They coming out of England. That was 1982. They reached number 1 with that hit. Same story, multiple lineups, and they broke up shortly after that, but I see they're out there now, reformed. Some of the original members still out there kicking out Come On Eileen. Number 2, I had Right Said Fred. I'm Too Sexy in 1991. This was another unique one because they're definitely, when you think I'm Too Sexy, you think of Right Said Fred. That's all they got going on the surface. But when you look into them, they're hugely successful. The two brothers, what was the name? Fred and Richard Fairbrass, have all these writing credits. They've sold over 30 million records. They write songs for Taylor Swift. They're very successful, but Right Said Fred, definitely one-hit wonder with only the one song people know about him. And then number 1, I thought this band defines the one-hit wonder was Chumbawamba, coming out of England. You had Thump Thumpin' in 1997. It only reached number 6, but when you think Chumbawamba, there's only one thing that comes to mind. And then I had one on my list, too, that I had to take off, was Aha out of Norway with Take On Me. Because, everyone knows Take On Me, but that music video was, it turned out that music video took on a life of its own. It became a whole other thing, so I couldn't count them as a one-hit wonder since people think of that music video and the song, I think, are two separate things. That's one of the only, at the time, it was like 2018, I think, YouTube videos to get 1 billion views. There was only 4 other music videos that had 1 billion views at the time. Was November Rain, Sweet Child of Mine, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and Bohemian Rhapsody. So they got off my list due to that.
Well, I think going on to my list, we're going to have some discussion based on just a little foreshadowing there. But that's a great.
A woodchuck.
Yep. What's that? Hocus Pocus?
My focus. You're telling me you never heard that song?
I can't really hear it that well.
I recognize it, and the only reason I recognize is it's always on JR's speakers in his car. At some point in a trip, you will hear that song. That and China Grove by the Doobie Brothers.
What's funny is Woodchuck's list, he said it twice. And every time he said it, I'm ready to say, oh, that's a good one. But he didn't do it. He mentioned Scotland twice. And Mike Myers and I were waiting for the Bay City Rollers to come out of his mouth on Saturday night, and it never did.
That's a good one.
Well, I don't think I can add that to my list, but I do have some disco to start off my list. Number 10, Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Lewis. I think it's on there because any documentary by the 70s, you definitely will hear that at some point. Number 9, a bass line that you definitely can hear in your sleep, In-A-Gadda-Na-Vida by Iron Butterfly. It's also like a 17-hour-long song, so it's good to go to the bathroom. If you're on the radio, not just in general to go to the bathroom. I mean, do you, but I mean, you don't have to listen to it to go to the bathroom. Number 8 on my list, 99 Luftballons by Nina. But I was on the fence of this one since it was a hit in English and also German. So I'm not sure how that.
It's still the same song, though. So
okay. And the first time this has ever happened, based on you guys' list, I had one on the peripheries of mine, and I added it. I added it live. I took off "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin, which was number 7, and I put on "Come On Eileen" by Dexys Midnight Riders because you guys made good points, and I remember I sing that at karaoke every once in a while, so I had to put that on. Number 6, his daughter is more well-known than him, but "Achy-Breaky Heart," Billy Ray Cyrus. Soundtrack of a generation right there. And then we get into some rarefied air, my top 5. Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot. It's just one of the greatest songs ever. Number 4, and it was on Woodchuck's list, and I know it was on his list because he dressed up like this person for Halloween one year, Right Said Fred. I'm Too Sexy. He dressed up like both brothers. It was an amazing costume. Number 3, featured in the motion picture Zoolander as the key part of the movie, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax
Good one.
spawned a whole generation of relaxed T-shirts. I'm surprised it wasn't on your list, JR. And then number 2 and number 1, I know we're going to have some discussion. Take On Me by Aha. Because, again, I think I hear the song, but I also, Chuck, I agree with you. That video did take a life on its own. It's also been spoofed numerous times, most recently by Weezer, I think, on one of their last albums. Did a spoof on that. And then this one I talked with Chuck about, Ice Ice Baby, my number 1 one-hit wonder. Now, I agree with Woodchuck that Vanilla Ice is not a one-hit wonder because he has Ice Ice Baby, he has Ninja Rap, and he has a cover of Play That Funky Music. But it was such a huge song. It was the People's Choice Award for new songs that year. And if you say Ice Ice or Vanilla Ice, you think Ice Ice Baby. So that's why I put him on there. But, Chuck, I'd like your rebuttal.
My argument, I think that's a popular answer, Vanilla Ice with Ice Ice Baby. But my argument is back to that song. That's not the only thing about Vanilla Ice. There was so much going on with Vanilla Ice that everyone was all riled up about, like the way he danced, the way he dressed, his stupid way of talking. He had the movie. Everyone was all up in arms because the movie came out after his decline. There was so much to talk about with Vanilla Ice that Ice Ice Baby is just a footnote in that. And then the guy sold like 12 million albums too. At the time, everyone had To the Extreme. I just don't think he qualifies as a one-hit wonder. I think there's a lot more going on in Vanilla Ice's world.
Like I said, Ninja Rap was the top 10 hit as well.
See that, but what you both don't understand is this: you're both fans of the son of a bitch. You know, you like it. You ask a normal person, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, and that's all they know about him. Don't care about his being in jail, clothes, Ninja Rap they never heard of. You know, the second one was a cover.
Yeah, but it was a number 3 hit though. It was top
That's true.
10. So by rule, he can't be one hit. He had at least 2, even if you're not going to agree with it.
Yeah.
See, that's the same reason I was going to put MC Hammer. Can't touch this, but Too Legit to Quit, I think, was as big a hit, if not a bigger hit. So that gives him.
This was. See that I would not consider him, but I'd still say, even though you're telling me Ninja Rap made it to top 3, I defy you to pick 10 people out anywhere on the street and say name the hits of Vanilla Ice, and they get past Ice Ice Baby.
I don't think it was Ninja Rap, but Play That Funky Music was top 10.
That definitely doesn't get to make the list because Wild Cherry did it, wrote it, they own it, and they were a bigger hit with it than
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, check it out. Number 1 hit, baby, for like 4 or 5 weeks. We people from Beer Falls, we represent. We follow our people.
Well, that's a good place to leave the conversation for commercial break. So don't go away. We'll be back. So don't drop the zero. Get with this hero. You're watching The Ultimate List right here on CUTV.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
And welcome back to The Ultimate List. We had a heated first segment, so if you didn't see it, make sure to rewind on YouTube or wait another 10 minutes on CUTV because it'll loop back through on the DVD. But once again, the topic today is the top 10 one-hit wonders, and our panel, myself, and Jared Wheeler with the ultimate dog, Sally.
She's upset because we didn't put on Who Let the Dogs Out on the list.
That's pretty good. And then from the Sound Factory in Brooklyn, New York, I knew I'd get in there because it means nothing. Ryan Woodchuck Kuntz, the drummer for Dr. Egg. So this part of the show is we have all, in the first segment, like I said, we have given our 10 songs. So that's a possibility of 30 songs. And we have to bring it down to 10. And that's what we're going to do this segment. We're going to take that 30. We're going to take a big chunk of 30 and get it down to 10. And then in the third segment, we'll rank those. But for broadcasting purposes and speed, we all realized that out of the 10, we have 4 songs that appeared on either all 3 of our lists or 2 of the 3 lists. So we'll just knock those out right now. Come On Eileen appeared on all 3 of our lists. I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred appeared on Woodchuck and mine's lists. Spirit in the Sky appeared on JR and Woodchuck's list. And Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by The Looking Glass appeared on JR and Woodchuck's list. And I love that song, so it should have made my list. But I put Don't Leave Me This Way on. So that means we have to fight for 6 songs. Who's going to put their gloves on first? Woodchuck, you have the ECW title behind you and a painting of a little girl. So we'll start with you.
That's what's her face from the Brady Bunch.
Dan.
Is that the little one?
Or Cindy. Maybe, it might be Cindy.
Cindy's the little one.
It's probably Cindy. All right, go ahead, Chuck. Which one would you like to fight for first?
Can I fight for Hocus Pocus?
I think we can. We're live now, man. Let's fight. Let's do it.
I'd like to get Hocus Pocus on the list. That was the only one on there that I didn't know that I recognized as soon as I played it during the commercial break. So I'd like to get Hocus Pocus by Focus, and it's a lot of fun to say. So I'd like to get it in the mix.
All right, it's in. We're going to accept it. Hocus Pocus is on.
It wasn't me adding it, though. It was Woodchuck.
That counts. He made a very good point. He should be a trial lawyer. So, JR.
Yes, sir.
Give us one that we can agree with. Not that we have to fight too much, but one Chuck and I can agree with that should be on the ultimate list.
Well, it makes it real easy for me now since Woodchuck added on Hocus Pocus by Focus. I'm going to go right with Beer Falls Own, Play That Funky Music White Boy by Wild Cherry.
And I can accept that because Vanilla Ice did a much more popular version of the song in 1991.
Yeah.
But it's slightly different. The words are a little different, so that's why it's not a What Hit Wonder. So, Chuck, do you agree to his terms? That's a good compromise, the Vanilla Ice compromise right there.
Yep, I'm on board.
And, whenever I type that, I'm going to be thinking of Vanilla Ice. So it's just something for the fans to know.
Second hit, though. Second hit.
I'm going to put on for my list Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
And that's a good one because you're right. I would have put that on if that would just my brain didn't have a brain fart. That would have been on my list. And
I'm going to change things up because I got some good momentum going. I'm going to sneak on Achy-Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. It's a country song. It was a huge song, and it's an earworm. I guarantee it's in both of your heads right now. Do you have any objections?
He's got nothing else to go by, so.
Sing it! All right, so that leaves 2 spots. 2 spots for the final list. Woodchuck, off of your list.
I would like to mix a whiskey drink and mix a vodka drink, and then add Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping. Get that in the mix.
And I can agree with that because I remember you couldn't go into a bar from like 1997 to 2019 without hearing that at some point in a 3-hour bar session. JR, what do you think about Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba?
Oh, I'm fine with that. He's right. I mean, I can still remember that video too.
I don't remember the video.
I don't remember the video of that one.
I just remember every time that would come on, it would just be like a celebration at the bars.
I'm thinking of a different song. What was the song where it was like on a moving conveyor belt? The couch kept coming in, and
that was Jamiroquai.
Oh, that was Jamiroquai. Okay, very good.
It's another good one, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm almost tempted to take off Billy Ray and say Jamiroquai.
No, every list needs a number 10. I was already in my head Billy Ray Cyrus there. But what I would say, because I don't think you said it made the list because it was only on mine, but Rapper's Delight of Sugar Hill Gang, I still think represents rather well for a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, probably one of the first rap hits and staple of any wedding that you would go to. And Chuck was, whenever you were off, when your internet seized up, Woodchuck was rapping Rapper's Delight. So I think
the karma then went through the airwaves, you know.
I think we have a pretty good list. So going back through, that's Come On Eileen, I'm Too Sexy, Spirit in the Sky, Brandy, Hocus Pocus by Focus, Rapper's Delight, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax, Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping, Achy-Breaky Heart, and Play That Funky Music. So after the break, the expert panel, we will take those 10 songs and rank them 10 to 1. You're watching The Ultimate List right here on CTV.
Colin, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Millersburg, Pennsylvania can watch our stuff down here.
Well, they could follow us on Twitter, or they could like us on Facebook.
Yeah, but what about our sports? How can they watch those?
They could watch it live on our YouTube channel.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Hey there, my name is Pam Dawber. You may know me as DJ Pam Demonium on WCAL Power 92. I hosted the Classic Rewind with Alicia Lackey, DJ Tiny Tim, and our specialty was songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm a child of the 70s, so my top 10 list is going to be 1970s, one-hit wonders. In no particular order, actually in chronological order, I'm going to start with a little bit of a cheat. 1969, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. I was only 9 years old, so, kind of like the message, and I like that one a lot. And he never had another. Number 2 on my list, Ride Captain Ride by Blues Image. To this day, when I want to hear that song, I end up looking up Grand Funk Railroad, Doobie Brothers, can never remember who did the song. So I have to search by the name. And that was from 1970. Number 3 on my list, definitely one you remember from Guardians of the Galaxy, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel from 1972. Number 4, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass. That one was from 1972. Number 5 is another one from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede. And for some reason, all my life, until I looked it up for this list, I thought it was Blue Suede. Go figure. That one's from 1973. Number 6 on my list is the very first 45 I ever bought. Why I picked this one, who knows, but it's Brother Louie by The Stories from 1973. Number 7 on my list, Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. That's from 1973. Just great chill summer songs, right? Here's another one. Number 8 on my list, Rock the Boat by the Hughes Corporation. We used to spend a lot of summertime down at the river, and there were lots of boats, so Rock the Boat. Yeah, we like that one a lot. Number 9 on my list starts to get us closer to the disco era, with Pittsburgh favorite Wild Cherry and Play That Funky Music from 1976. And number 10 on my top 10 ultimate list of one-hit wonders from the 70s, Funky Town by Lip Sync from 1979. Hope you enjoyed the list. Tune in to WCAL when you got some time, 91.9 FM on your FM dial, wcal.calu.edu on the internet or on radio FX. Look up WCAL. See you online.
And welcome back to the conclusion of this episode of The Ultimate List. Once again, today's topic is the top 10 one-hit wonders. And joining us, the panel of experts from Brooklyn, New York, the drummer for Dr. Egg, the original host of The Ultimate List, Ryan Woodchuck Kuntz.
Hey!
And from his abode in California, PA, along with the ultimate dog, Sally, the producer emeritus of CTV, Mr. J.R. Wheeler.
I'm just glad that this show didn't turn out to be a one-hit wonder. It's been going on and on and on.
That's pretty good stuff. Yeah, we've gone through different hosts, different states. different topics. This is great. For our viewers, there was a very contentious discussion off air. We're going to put that on Ultimate List After Dark. There's a lot of swearing, a lot of things were said to get this down. But we did this for you. We did this to bring you the most information you, the viewer, and you, the consumer of music, can have. But without further ado, we have the top 10 one-hit wonders of all time. And number 10, I'm going to go to Woodchuck because he fought for this. I think this is going to be the sentimental favor of the show. Take it away, Chuck.
Yeah, number 10, I think the best one to get in there is something I didn't know existed really until JR brought it to my ears. I got to fight for Hocus Pocus by Focus. Hocus Pocus by Focus.
I guarantee you'll say that a lot from now on. It just kind of rolls off the tongue.
And that's a first. It was on JR's list, but Chucky fought for it. So that'll be the number 10 one-hit wonder. Number 9, I'll go to me because this is on my list. And it's the only country song on the list. And even country music fans kind of disown it a little bit. Achy-Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. And number 8, we'll go back to Woodchuck since this was on his list. And the question was asked, Woodchuck, when was the last time you heard this song in a bar or on FM radio?
Oh, I'm announcing it?
You're announcing it, yes.
Yeah, number 8 we're at? Number 8?
Number 8.
Number 8, we went with Chumbawamba with Tub Thumpin', which a fun fact about that song, the first time I ever heard it was played to me by DJ Forsyth at Power 92 in the little recording booth there. At the time, we were throwing some pretty epic college house parties, and we had these mixtapes. They're actually tapes I had to keep flipping sides. That's how long ago this was. And he told me I had to get this new song on there. And I was like, you don't tell me what music to put on these tapes. And then he brought me in the room and he played Tub Thumpin'. And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, get the decks out. We got to have this baby. You had to hit play, record, and then pause, and then play. We got it on there, though.
I mean, that story just brought back every hangover from all those parties instantly. So I'm glad I have a turkey hoagie. Number 7, off of JR's list. And I want him to rap this whole song. But, Jared, would you like to announce the number 7 and give us one line from the song?
No, I don't remember it. I just remember it was a big hit.
Well, what is it?
Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh, man.
The whole topic of the show is one-hit wonders, and the quote is, I don't remember anything.
No, I remember no. I remember the song, but just like Hocus Pocus Focus.
Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Hocus Pocus by Focus.
Couldn't I'm begging off like Woodchuck did on that song originally. I know it's a big hit. It helped begin a whole genre of music. But is it my cup of tea? No, not really.
We're gonna
I try to be inclusive in my lists.
And we'll stay with JR and his cup of tea for number 6. It's a Vanilla Ice song. JR, would you like to announce what song made the list?
Beaver Falls' own Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
And once again, when I type that graphic in, I'll be thinking of you, Ice. I can't do it. I can't do the...
Beaver Falls? JR, they're from Beaver Falls?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow, look at that. I didn't know that.
As a matter of fact, you know who joined, became a member of the group right around the time this song hit, or a little bit after that song hit, was Donnie Iris.
Was in the band?
Oh, yeah. You know who? Donnie Iris was in 3 different groups that made records. The original group he was in was the Rappers. No, the Jaggers.
Jaggers.
Yeah, the Jaggers. And then, of course, this one, Wild Cherry, they picked him up. And then finally he went out with Donnie Iris and Crusaders. So,
Donnie Iris just came up in conversation at a Brooklyn bar I was at on Saturday.
Oh, really?
In Pittsburgh. And the guy's like, who's the big musician that's out of Pittsburgh? I'm like, Donnie Iris. Yeah, Donnie Iris.
Donnie Iris.
So without watching this show, or now after watching the show, you can draw a direct line from Vanilla Ice to Donnie Iris. So you're welcome for that. Number 5, we're getting into the top 5, the final 5. This is off of my list. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. One of the greatest scenes in movie history in Zoolander. So look it up on the old YouTube machine. And number 4, 4 through 1 were all on a combination of 2 or all 3 of our lists. But number 4, JR, this was one of your between the two of you, I think this is a JR song. So go ahead.
What was
the first word is Spirit.
Oh, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. And that's one of those songs that I think even if you say you haven't heard it, once you start listening to it, you'll say, oh, okay, just didn't know who did it or whatever. Because, I mean, it was just one that's out there and decade after decade after decade still keeps showing up on FM radio.
And we're coming into the final 3. One of the greatest Halloween costumes of all time will go to Woodchuck. What's number 3? You dressed up like both brothers for a Halloween party?
Number 3, we've got Right Said Fred with I'm Too Sexy. And like I said, those guys have a lot more going on in their life than that song. But as far as I think the masses are concerned, goes to JR's Vanilla Ice argument. But I think this one's founded like everyone thinks I'm too sexy when they think Right Said Fred.
Yep.
Yeah. It was such a huge hit and been in every movie. I actually heard it at the gas station a few weeks ago. So it's still, if it's still played at the Hiller gas station, it's still one of the best songs in the world. Number 2 was on Woodchuck and JR's list, and it just missed my list for personal reasons. But JR, would you like to tell everyone through the looking glass what song it is?
Yes, of course. Because, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. But my life, my love, my lady is the sea. I felt like William Shatner there for a second with a dramatic reading of a song.
You know, on Ultimate List After Dark, we're going to have JR do a spoken word of all the lyrics of the top 10. So make sure to check out Ultimate List After Dark coming to a
I just do rap.
YouTube.
That's what they want to hear.
That works for me.
That would be good.
And the number 1 song, the number 1 number 1 one-hit wonder of all time. I'm going to probably edit a drum roll in there, maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or the theme to, or the bass line for Hocus Pocus by Focus. The number 1, Come On Eileen, Dexys, Midnight Riders. Dexys Midnight Riders? Or are they runners?
Runners.
The Riders? Let's go around the horn. Woodchuck, what's your favorite memory of Come On Eileen?
Oh, come on. Hey, geez. It goes back to those parties, those same house parties I was talking about. We used to play that song at the house in the 90s, and people would still get up and be moving and grooving to that song. And the overalls. He had the unbuttoned overalls in the video.
JR, what is your favorite connection story to the song Come On Eileen?
Well, just because MTV was so big during the 80s, I can still, see the lead singer bare-chested, but in the blue jean overalls, staying on the corner there, and all the rest of the group come up and singing "Come On Eileen" and just getting down with it.
And my recollection of the song, I actually have 2. One, it's one of my songs, my go-to karaoke songs, but there's a show from England called Spaced with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and a lot of those guys that do Shaun of the Dead. Came out in the late 90s, but there's one of the best episodes that uses Come On Eileen as one of the main plot points. So I think we did a good job today, guys. Chuck, I think the only thing to do now is to give the Sabu Award, and I'd like you to explain it and then award it.
The Sabu Award is something we do on the Ultimate List, which is the award given to the item on the list that doesn't really deserve to be there, but it strikes a special chord during the show and makes it special in our hearts by the end of it. And I think tonight that's easy to say that it goes to Hocus Pocus by Focus. The most fun song to say. We got to give that baby the Sabu Award.
And folks, all you people are now screaming from the Netherlands. That's Ryan Woodchuck Koons, Brooklyn, NY.
Listen, I mean, it's on there. Now it's part of history. It's the number 10 one-hit wonder of all time. I think you're going to see they're probably going to start touring again.
Woodchuck looked it up when we were at a break, and they're still big in the Netherlands. They're still performing.
Yeah, they're still out there making it work. If they come to New York, I'm going to go see them for sure now if they come this way.
So that's the challenge to all of you out there in the Twitter world. If you are at a Hocus Pocus or a Focus concert, send us that picture to our Twitter page at CUTV_PA. Or if you have any additions to the list or you'd like to share your list at CUTV_PA or in the comment section on YouTube. Or if you have an idea for an upcoming episode of the Ultimate List, we have a ton of ideas, but we're always receptive to what the people want. So if you have any suggestions, just tweet us at CUTV_PA or our Facebook page, California University Television, or in the comment section on CUTV Sports 1. So, gang, this has been another great one. I think we did good work for the people. And any final words?
I predict right now that you're going to get more requests in their own lyrics or their own lists sent in on this topic.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hot topic for sure. I think we should sign off by JR trying to do the yodeling from Hocus Pocus by Focus. Can you give us a taste?
What's funny is that yodeling, I remember, Gary, I used to play it for you, the cover band Yellow Brick Road out of Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to do the yodeling of that, but they made it sound more like Popeye doing it. It was always great.
Let's hear it. But only...